Have you ever written something you thought was brilliant, an article maybe, or even just a really detailed email, and it
Mhm.
just sort of got lost, vanished into the noise?
Happens all the time.
Often the unsung hero or maybe the villain in that story is the title. It's
Absolutely.
not just a label, is it?
Not at all.
It's like the gatekeepers, the first impression, that tiny little billboard for all your hard work.
Exactly. It carries a lot of weight.
So today, we're doing a deep dive. We want to uncover the hidden power behind crafting really effective titles.
That's right. Our mission really is to pull back the curtain on the specific guidelines, the procedures for picking the best title for any piece of writing.
And we're using our guide on crafting effective titles as the foundation here.
Yeah, and look, understanding this stuff isn't just about, passing some test.
Right.
It's actually fundamental for absorbing information quickly and for communicating your own ideas clearly in pretty much any context.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. A title really holds a kind of privileged place in any text, doesn't it?
It really does.
Prime real estate. It's the very first thing you see,
Right.
often the last thing you remember. So we'll unpack what makes a title work, walk through a simple process for choosing one.
A really practical process.
Yeah, and then look at some fascinating examples from our source material to see how these principles actually play out.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the big question. Why? Why are titles so incredibly important?
Wow.
Our source material points out that a title draws the reader's most complete attention.
And that complete attention bit is key.
It really is.
Okay.
When you think about just the sheer volume of information fighting for our attention every single day, getting that focus is like gold, isn't it?
Pure gold.
Yeah.
So what this means for us as readers and as writers or communicators
Yeah.
is that the title isn't just some formality. It's an immediate filter. It's doing heavy lifting right from the start.
A filter. I like that.
And to pick the best title, you first have to understand what a title phrase really is.
Okay.
Essentially, it's that concise headline, right? The summary that captures the very essence of the text.
The core idea.
Exactly. Which brings us to a really key point. What are the core characteristics? What makes a title truly effective, not just okay?
Right. And our guide lays out 4, you could say, non-negotiable characteristics for a good title.
Or essentials.
First, titles have to accurately indicate the subject and the scope of the study.
Accuracy first. Non-negotiable, like you
Now,
said.
it's not just about being clear. It's about setting the right expectations. A misleading title, even if it sounds catchy, it can just erode trust, leaves your reader feeling a bit cheated, maybe, and that ultimately hurts engagement more than it helps.
That's so true. You feel tricked.
Second, titles should avoid using abbreviations.
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, why? Because they just create an instant barrier for anyone who isn't already, deep in your specific field.
Right, they have to stop and decode it.
Exactly. It forces them to work before they even grasp the main point. Clarity really trumps that kind of insider shorthand pretty much every time.
So unless the entire audience is insiders, maybe. But generally, yeah. Avoid them.
Third, good titles use words that create a positive impression and, crucially, stimulate reader interest.
You gotta hook them.
You do. You want to entice, spark some curiosity, not just flatly inform.
Make them want to read on.
And finally, number 4, titles use current words and ideas from a particular field of study.
Relevance.
Yeah, and ensuring relevance, giving it a contemporary feel. I mean, just picture all the articles you scroll past daily because the titles just don't grab you, or worse, they feel.
Dated. Stale.
Exactly. Dated or stale. Misses the mark completely.
So those are the qualities, but beyond just, the art of finding a catchy phrase, there's actually a clear process for selecting the best title.
Yeah, especially when you're faced with multiple choices, like in a test or evaluation setting.
Right. It's not just guesswork. It's a step-by-step approach.
It is. Our guide lays out a super clear procedure. First step, read the passage.
Obvious, but crucial.
And as you read, you're looking for the topic sentence. That's usually the sentence that gives you the main idea of a paragraph or section. Makes the core topic pretty obvious.
Find the main point. Got it.
Second, think about the audience for this text. Who is it for?
Context again.
Always. Sometimes titles become really easy to choose or, eliminate because a text might clearly be written for, say, children, not adults, or experts, not a general reader.
Right, that helps narrow it down quickly.
Then, and this is really important, you read the passage again.
A second read.
Yep. Let it sink in,
Mm.
and only then do you look at the actual title options provided.
Okay, resist the urge to look early.
Exactly. And finally, you choose the title that most accurately reflects what you've just read and understood.
Accuracy comes back.
It does. And this kind of structured approach, it's incredibly valuable anytime you need to quickly grasp the core meaning, especially under pressure, like
Mm-mm.
summarizing a report quickly
Or those standardized tests, yeah. Like the guide mentions, Duolingo Task 15, Praxis, where you have multiple choices, maybe a time limit.
right, like 7 or 8 minutes for 6 questions, sometimes fewer if the algorithm thinks you've got it. So efficiency matters.
And it's absolutely crucial to remember that tip from the source material. Read all of the options. Don't choose quickly.
That's so tempting, though. You see one that looks good.
I know, but resist. And remember the other part. Choose the title that has the topic and generally covers all areas mentioned in the text.
Okay, generally it covers all areas. That's interesting.
It is. So this raises a question, doesn't it? How do you balance that need for accuracy with, the desire for engagement, making it interesting?
Yeah, how do different title styles manage that balancing act?
Exactly.
That's a great point. And it really highlights how much thought goes into it, balancing strict accuracy with the art of actually drawing a reader in.
It's a craft.
It is. And our source material gives us two pretty distinct types of titles, each doing a different job. On the one hand, you might have a catchy phrase, maybe not super serious in tone, something that generalizes the passage, designed to hook you instantly. Like the example, "It's a frog's life."
Kind of playful, broad.
Right. Or, on the other hand, you could have something much more serious, more academic, that basically summarizes the entire passage, giving you clear info right up front.
Like the other example.
A description of the habitat, lifespan, and breeding patterns of the South American tree frog. Very different feel.
Totally different. One's a hook, the other is a summary. Both can be effective, right? But for different reasons, different audiences.
Exactly, different goals.
And for these shorter texts, like the guide mentions, maybe just a paragraph or two long,
Yeah.
you should realistically be able to winnow down the options pretty fast and hopefully accurately.
Get to the right answer quickly.
Yeah, your choice has to be accurate to the passage. Doesn't matter if all the title choices seem general or if they all seem like summaries. You have to read them carefully and pick the one that truly fits the text you just read.
Precision matters, even when you're moving fast.
Always.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Let's unpack this with that sleep example from our source.
Good idea.
So the passage says, "We think of sleep as a time when the mind and body shut down. But this is not the case. Sleep is an active period in which a lot of important processes occur. How this happens and why our bodies need such a long period of inactivity is still a mystery. But scientists understand some of sleep's functions and the reasons we need it for better health and well-being."
Okay, pretty straightforward passage about sleep.
Right. Now imagine these are your options. 1, how much sleep do we need? 2, what is a good night's sleep? 3, the importance of sleep for young people. And 4, why do we need sleep?
Okay, 4 choices.
So looking back at the passage, what's it covering? It talks about sleep not being shut down, but active.
An active process.
It mentions it's still a bit of a mystery how it all works,
Right.
but that scientists do understand some functions and reasons we need it for health and well-being.
Right. So it touches on what it is and why it's needed.
Exactly. So option 1, how much sleep do we need? Is that covered?
No, not really. Duration isn't the focus.
Option 2, what is a good night's sleep?
Again, too specific. It doesn't define good sleep.
Option 3, the importance of sleep for young people,
Definitely not. It doesn't mention age groups at all.
which leaves option 4, why do we need sleep?
That seems to fit best. It covers the functions and reasons mentioned. It generally covers the areas in the text.
Right, it's the broadest title. It still accurately reflects the core themes.
Yeah.
What sleep is, active, and why it's necessary. It encompasses the scope.
Makes sense. It's about finding that fit overall.
Let's try one more just to help everyone apply this. The Rodville passage example.
Okay, the city one.
Yeah. The passage reads, "Our small city is characterized by a helpful way of life, a humble nature, and a spirit among residents. People who are familiar with our area and its snowy categorization are straightaway fascinated by the region's loveliness, legacy, moderate climate, and hospitable sense."
Okay, paints a picture of Rodville. Mostly positive traits.
Mostly positive. Describes the lifestyle, the atmosphere. Now, the options. A, Rodville, a charming way of life. B, Rodville, a snowy place in the hills. C, Rodville, a charming place to live. D. Rodville, a fun place to live.
Okay. Several seem plausible at first glance.
They do. Option B, snowy place. It mentions snowy categorization, but the focus is much broader, right? Loveliness, climate, hospitality.
Right. Snow is just one detail, maybe even a misconception it's hinting at, so B is likely out.
Probably. Option D, fun place. The passage uses words like helpful, humble, hospitable, charming. Does fun really capture that?
Fun feels a bit off, maybe too simplistic. Charming seems closer to the text's language.
Okay, so that leaves A, charming way of life, and C, charming place to live. Both use charming.
They do. What's the difference? Way of life versus place to live?
The passage talks about the way of life, the humble nature, the spirit among residents, the hospitable sense.
That leans more towards the experience or the lifestyle, doesn't it? Not just the physical location.
I think so too. Way of life seems to capture the essence slightly better than just place to live. So option A feels like the strongest fit.
I'd agree. It connects directly to the phrasing used in the passage. And just as a side note here, notice the capitalization in those titles.
Yeah. Good point.
The guide mentions this. A title's content words are usually capitalized, but the articles and prepositions are not.
Right. Like in Rodville, a charming way of life, the A and of aren't capped.
Exactly. It's just a standard formatting convention, but it's another one of those subtle things that shapes how a title looks and feels, part of the overall presentation.
So, thinking about all this, the goal isn't just about, picking the right answer on a form.
No, not at all.
It's really about cultivating a more critical eye for how information is packaged, how it's summarized, whether you're the one writing it or the one reading it.
It sharpens your understanding.
It really does. It's almost like solving a tiny puzzle, isn't it? Trying to condense all that meaning, all that nuance into just a few carefully chosen words.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, mastering title selection isn't just about finding the right words on the page.
What is it about them?
It's about truly understanding the core subject and the scope of any information you encounter or information you create yourself.
Getting to the heart of it.
Exactly. It's about stripping away the extra stuff, the fluff, and getting right down to the essence. What is this really about?
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, next time you read an article or a book, or even just see a movie title.
Pause for a second.
Yeah, just pause and think. Does that title truly capture the subject and the scope? Does it actually spark your interest?
And maybe how would you have titled differently knowing what you know now?
Right. Based on what we've unpacked today, you might actually be surprised how much that little bit of thought can reveal about the power packed into those few crucial words at the top.
Which brings us to maybe a final thought-provoking question for everyone to consider. What other small, seemingly insignificant details in how we communicate? What other things hold such immense power? Power to define, to attract, to inform?
Beyond the title.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
What subtle cues do you think are most effective in getting a message's essence across without overwhelming the reader or the listener? Something to think about.